I never struggled with the weight problem before, but then all the teasing and the jokes started to pile up on top of each other, and before I knew it, I didn't think I was good enough the way I was. I stopped eating at school. The things people said to me when I stopped eating, like, "Why are you so skinny? What's wrong with you?" Initially, they made me feel good about my body image, but then eventually, I realized that I wasn't well. In a time where guys struggling with body image wasn't spoken about at all, I felt so alone. I felt so unloved, so isolated. I began to shut myself away. I felt like I was the only guy that was struggling with anything. I was too embarrassed to talk to anyone about what I was feeling, so running away just seemed like the easy option. But moving to a new school didn't help.
At the age of 14, you're just starting to discover who you are and the type of person you want to be. Never in a million years did I think I would have to deal with the repercussions that followed on from this event. An act that is meant to be intimate, personal, and most importantly a choice, shattered my life and made me question everything I knew. That act stole something from me. I tried to keep up appearances. I stayed quiet, I went to school, but inside I was slowly shutting down. I didn't know if I was more mad, humiliated, or broken. All I knew is that somehow that act had stolen something from me, and all I dreamt of for a long time was revenge. I felt like I had lost all control, and somehow taking my life gave me back the power that they'd stolen from me.
I still remember the night that I found out that he took his life, and every night I wondered to myself if there was something that I could have done, something that I could have said. It can really traumatize someone, finding out that their friend took their life and you could have done something to help them. And I think that's what it did for me. It traumatized me and it gave me nightmares. And I think for the first time in my life I experienced true heartache in losing someone. I used to get flashbacks and I would think to myself, how did I dismiss the signs? How did I just completely ignore his struggling and be so oblivious to it? And I think what added to it was that 2 other boys took their lives months after, and I thought that perhaps that was the easy way out, and to me that just seemed like an option.
Whether there are 13 reasons, 100 reasons, or whether you can't even pin down the reasons why, there is one reason why not, and that reason trumps them all. The one reason is that you matter. You have a space here and you are not an accident. You have a future and it can be good. There are no exceptions to that rule. You are not your experiences, and your past does not have to determine your future. You see, there is no power in your death, no control from the grave. The world will suffer your loss, but there is no loss as great as the future you'll never know. You are not powerless to your fate. Death is not the answer to your chaos. Before you may be the choice of life and death, but you can choose life so that you may know it in its fullness.
I was determined to get through this on my own. I tried multiple remedies like pornography and alcohol, but they didn't help me get through my struggles. Eventually, I realized that I couldn't do this alone anymore. I couldn't live alone anymore. My parents sent me to a local youth group where I was surrounded by people that I felt comfortable just being myself around. Friends who loved me, who showed that they cared for me and that were always by my side. That's how I got through it. I had to choose to stop believing the lies that I had allowed to go on in my head, and to surround myself with people that encourage me and that helped me to understand that what people say isn't always the truth, but that I have a purpose on this earth, one that's worth living for.
Waves of emotion kept me from ever telling anyone. How could they possibly understand what had happened? And would they blame me as much as I blamed myself? Talking about it made it so much more real, and somehow staying quiet meant that I could pretend I was okay. But inside it was destroying me. An old friend told me that I should see a counsellor. I remember sitting in those sessions, week in, week out, feeling completely numb. It took me about 6 months before I could get any words out. But whether it was 6 months, 6 weeks, or 6 years was the best decision I could have made for myself. I had to process what had happened to me, and I had to begin to envision what I wanted my new life to look like. Somehow in my head, I thought revenge meant I could settle a score or right a wrong. But to me, the biggest vindication was in choosing life when they gave me so many reasons not to.
I knew I didn't kill them, but sometimes there are voices inside you that just drown you with guilt, and what I learned is that I just couldn't let those voices win. I'm alive today because I asked for help. I'm alive today because I finally understand that people love and care about me. There is always someone that cares enough to help. They may be the furthest away or the closest, but there is always someone that cares.
No matter how many reasons why, all you need is one reason why not, and the fact that you matter will never change.